Srila Gurudev has started speaking already and into the subject matter of the gopis seeing Krishna. The gopis, they listen, but they do not trust Krishna's words. They have faith, nishtha, in Krishna. Srimati Radhika herself says, Srimati Radhika has nishtha in her life and soul. Govinda. Her attention does not go anywhere other than Govinda. Sita-ji, her nishtha is in Lord Ram. In Bhramara-gita it is said, in her condition Unmad Dasha, transcendental madness, she says, I know the life of the past 3 lives of Krishna. In his incarnation is Vamanadeva, Vaman avatar. He took all of Bali Maharaja's wealth. He showed his little feet. And said, I am a Brahmin child. I want 3 steps of land. That which I will measure with my feet. He showed his 3 little feet. But at the time of taking those 3 steps, he showed a huge, huge form. And he took the earth planet in the first step. And the second step, he took the heavenly planets, Swargalo. And he asked, where should I put my 3rd foot? To Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj thought, he said, I've given everything, but I've not given myself. And asked for Vamanadeva to put his feet on his head. Srimati Radhika said herself, Bali Maharaj is simple, and he gave everything. And in the end, Vamanadeva put his feet on Bali Maharaj's head and pushed him to the Patal Lok, the lower regions. And his second life as Ramchandra. One beautiful lady had come to him. She came with a beautiful proposal of marriage. And she had presented herself in a very beautiful form. And she saw that Lord Ram had such a beautiful form. And she proposed to Lord Ramchandra, I am such a beautiful person, and you are such a beautiful person. You should please marry, we should marry. Lord Ramchandra said, I cannot marry because I have taken a vow of only marrying one lady. Therefore I cannot marry with you. Look, my brother has no wife with him here, Lakshman. She went to Lakshman, the beautiful lady. Lakshman was not any less attractive than Lord Ram. So she proposed to him. Saying to Lakshman, your brother does not want to marry me, you marry me. Lakshman said, I am the servant of Lord Ram. Please marry me. If you marry me, then you will have to become a maidservant. Then she became upset. I am no ordinary lady. I am the sister of Ravana, Shurpanakha. Why should I become a servant? Lakshman said, if you don't want to become a maidservant, then you can go elsewhere. In that time, Sita-devi came out from her hermitage. He said, who is this? This is my husband, Lord Ram. I will devour him. Shurpanakha thought that as long as Sita is there, then Lord Ram won't marry her. So I will devour Lord Ram. No, I will devour Sita, sorry. She manifested her original form. Before she was disguised as a very beautiful damsel. Now she presented her horrific, horrible, huge, gigantic form and started to chase after Sita. Lord Ram indicated to Lakshman, and with that indication, Lakshman chopped her nose and ears off. Like a poisonous snake. If one disturbs that snake becomes very angry and raises its hood. In the same way, Shurpanakha, she showed her horrific form and went to Kardushan and started to complain. Then Ram and Lakshman, they fought with Kardushan. Then she went to Ravana. She went to Ravana. And whatever faults she could think of, she presented to Ravana. What did Shurpanakha say? Oh, my dear brother, in this forest, Dandakaranya, there are two brothers who have one very beautiful wife that I wanted to present to you. This is what they did to me. Look. They cut my nose and ears off. So they made. He made friends with Sugriva. And he made them fight with each other, with Bali and Sugriva. Bali was a great warrior, very strong. He had a benediction. Even if the Lord Vishnu came in front of him, he would take half of his strength. And then his strength, he already had his own strength, and then he would have half of Lord Vishnu's strength. If the Lord would come in front of him, he would take half of his strength. And Lord Ram knew this. So he arranged Sugriva's fighting with Bali, and he stood behind at a distance for this reason. He would not face Bali. He would not come in front of Bali because he would take half of his strength. So I will kill Bali from a distance. When they were fighting, Bali was so strong. He beat Sugriva so much. He was almost defeated, unconscious. He was about to die. He came to begging to Ramchandra. He said, "We made a pact in front of the fire to help me to defeat Bali, but you are not doing anything." At that time, Lord Ramchandra said, Sugriva said, "It's not my fault, because you are so similar to each other. How can I shoot an arrow if I cannot discriminate the difference between the two of you? If I was to shoot and I hit my arrow onto you, then I would have to suffer the sin of killing a friend." So I could not decide who to shoot my arrow at. I make a promise, take my garland. So Lord Ramchandra put his own garland on Sugriva. Then he could tell. Then again, second time, Sugriva went to Bali and enticed him to fight, calling out, "Bali!" Bali is not an ordinary warrior, fighter. If anybody calls him, he would have to respond. Even Ravana once came to Bali to fight. At that time, Bali was offering oblations to sun god Surya whilst in the water. And at that time, Ravana came and disturbed him, beating him on the back with his mace. When in the morning Bali was offering oblations, he didn't want to be disturbed. So he took Ravana, grabbed him by the neck and pressed him under his arm and kept him under his arm while he was offering oblations with his left hand. He pressed him under his armpit like a small insect. And Ravana started to bite underneath his armpit like an insect. Because you are city dwellers, you use soap, perfumes, and use sprays, deodorants. The villagers do not have this facility. Sugriva was complaining that Lord Ram has broken his promise, the vows of the dynasty of Raghukul. they would give up their life rather than give up their vow. And Ramchandra had broken the etiquette of fighting and had shot Bali in the back. Ramchandra gave a very important reply. He said, Bali was complaining to Lord Ram. He said, listen, this Kiskinda, this forest, this is the forest of Ikkaku dynasty. And my brother, Bharat, is the king of this region. Under his direction, I am serving. If there were any miscreants in this area, I am duty-bound to kill them. There's no fault in killing 6 types of people. There's no requirement to follow the etiquette of fighting to kill these 6 different types of people. This verse in Tulsidas Ramayana, one who takes another's wife, who there is no fault in killing such a person or to follow any etiquette of fighting. You took Sugriva's wife, and this is your offense. Lord Ramchandra told Bali, for this reason I am punishing you. In this episode in the Ramayana, it's very beautifully told. Do you remember the verse? This very beautiful verse from the Ramayana. And then Bali said, you are Parabrahma Bhagavan, whatever you desire. Bali was convinced that nobody else apart from the Lord could kill him. I will give you your life back. He offered to Bali, but Bali replied in this verse that Bali's prayed for the ability to remember the Lord's name while he left his body. And what greater benediction to have Lord Ramchandra in front of him as he left his body. In this condition, in the Bhramara-gita, Srimati Radhika is remembering this very important shlok that Srimati Radhika recited. Remembering Krishna. And so the 3 births was Vamanadeva, Ramchandra's, and Krishna's appearance. So just yesterday we celebrated Hanuman's appearance day. He in Dasya Ras, and his nishtha, one-pointedness towards his object of worship, Lord Ramchandra, is unparalleled. We know the example of the Garuda thinking that he is the best servant of the Lord. The Lord, he rectified Garuda's pride of this. He said, go and call Hanuman. Tell him Yadavendra is calling you. So Hanuman replied, said, I am not well, I'll come in 2 or 3 days' time. And then Garuda went to the Lord to say this, and Lord Ram said, tell him that Raghavendra is calling you. Hearing this, Hanuman jumped up, and seeing that his object of worship, Lord Ramchandra, is calling him, he went immediately, faster than Garuda could fly. So Hanuman's meditation is on the form of the Lord as Lord Ramchandra, and not as Yadavendra, Krishna. By Hanuman's behavior, we can learn how one-pointed he is to his object of worship, Lord Ramchandra. Once, there's one illustration to show us that the Lord's name is non-different from the Lord. In Valmiki Ramayana, was seeing his devotee performing severe austerities, being pleased with that. Lord Ramchandra realized that this shudra who is performing austerity was misusing his independence. So Lord Ramchandra vowed to kill this shudra before sunrise the next morning. So Lord Ramchandra's arrow is very special, because wherever it's directed, it would hit that target, and he only had one arrow, and that arrow would then return back into his quiver. This arrow is known as Ram Ban. Ban meaning arrow. Lord Ram's arrow. It never missed its target, and it would return to him. Lord Ramchandra made this vow that he would kill this shudra before sunrise the next day. Hearing this, the shudra left his austerities and with folded hands came to the lotus feet of Ma Anjana, the mother of Hanuman, and began to cry at her feet, please save me. Please give me a benediction to save my life. Mother Anjana or Anjani, I give you this vow. I will save your life. How? So she called Hanuman. My son, will you keep one promise for me? I will give up my life, but I will keep your promise. Hanuman said to his mother. Then one thing you have to do. Your Lord Ramchandra has vowed to kill the Shudra tomorrow before sunrise. How can I do this? When my Lord himself has given this vow, to make this vow, how can I be an obstacle to that? And also he is in a predicament. He has to keep his mother's vow because he has given his word. So Hanuman said to the Shudra, come, stand behind me. In the morning, when Lord Ramchandra is standing in front of Hanuman with the Shudra behind him, there's two stories here. When Lord Ram released his arrow, Hanuman began to chant the Lord's name, Ram, Ram, Ram. He released the arrow on Hanuman, but the arrow fell at Hanuman's feet. Then the rishis, they came and they said, oh my Lord, take this vow back that you have made. So Lord Ramchandra took his vow back. Because Lord Ram is none different from his name. And in another Ramayana it is described, once Narada Rishi arrived in Ayodhya to establish there's no difference between Ram and his name. Oh, actually, higher than the Lord is his name. An assembly was present. The Lord was present there also. All the devotees were there. Vishvamitra was also there. And Narada Rishi said, Hanuman, in this assembly, all those who are here, do pay your obeisances to all of them. But don't pay your obeisance to Vishvamitra. Narada Rishi instructed to Hanuman like this. So don't offer your obeisance to Vishvamitra. So as he was doing this, he didn't offer his obeisances to Vishvamitra. Vishvamitra went to Lord Ram. Oh my Lord, I am praying one thing for you. Why was I offended in this assembly by Hanuman? Will you punish that person who has offended me? And Ram said, yes, certainly. Lord Ram said to Vishvamitra, you are my guest. Anybody who offends my guest, I will certainly punish them. What punishment will you give? whatever punishment you wish me to give them, I will give. So Vishvamitra said, to take that person's life. And who is that person? He said, Hanuman is that offender. How can I punish this punishment on my dear servant Hanuman? But Lord Ramchandra was bound by his words. Hanuman became afraid. Wherever Lord Ram shoots his arrows, nobody is able to save themselves. If Lord Ram wants to kill somebody, nobody can save them. And if Lord Ram wants to save somebody, nobody can kill them. And Hanuman went to Narada Rishi. Now, you have instructed me like this. Now what do I do? Don't worry, Hanuman, Narad said. Tomorrow, early in the morning, you go to the Saryu river and chant Lord Ram's name tomorrow morning. Hanuman is chanting Ram, Ram, Ram. Nothing would affect Hanuman while he was chanting. Lord Ram, he shot his arrows, but nothing was happening to Hanuman. That's why we say higher than the Lord is his name. This is the glories of the holy names of the Lord. Even if he was releasing arrows to kill somebody and that person was chanting his names, that arrow would not work. Yet Lord Ramchandra had made this vow that he would kill Hanuman by morning, but he could not. At that time, Narad went to Vishvamitra. Now you take your promise you made, Lord Ramchandra, make. Now, with folded hands, Vishvamitra went to Lord Ramchandra and said, now you do not have to prove. Yeah. Vishvamitra went to Lord Ramchandra. The all-merciful Lord, you do not have to kill Hanuman. I understand why this has taken place, to show the glories of the holy name of the Lord, being greater than the Lord himself. How did Lord Ramchandra cross the river, cross the ocean to Lanka? Through the help of the army of monkeys, and how the bridge was made with the names of the Lord. By taking whose name one can cross over this ocean of material existence. That same Lord, when he crossed over the ocean made of rocks with his name written on it. Neil and others, they were throwing these stones into the ocean and they were floating. Lord Ramchandra was watching and seeing. They are throwing in the ocean stones with my name on it. Lord Ramchandra was thinking to himself, maybe I'll take one stone and try to throw it in the ocean and see if it floats. But I won't do it in front of everyone, because if it doesn't float, then everybody will laugh. Did you try this for yourself? So Lord Ramchandra took one stone in one secluded, isolated place, took one stone and threw into the water. That stone sank to the bottom. At that time, Hanuman said, and saw Ramchandra doing this and said, "What are you doing?" He says, "What can I say? You are writing my name on the stones and the stones are floating. I'm thinking, if I do the same, just to throw a stone in the water, will it float? And this is your pastimes. If you leave anybody, if you throw anybody to one side, they cannot survive. There's no difference between you and your name. If you throw anybody into this material world, they will drown. But if they take your name, they will float, they will survive. One who leaves the lotus feet of the Lord, they will drown." Tulsidas is writing this one verse. Lord Ram's name is one unit. There's, like in your mobile phone, there are 10 digits. What are the digits? Zero is not a number. It's a digit. 1 to 9. Also zero is there. The value of the zero is zero. Right, Srila Garuda, Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, speaking about the glories of the holy name, and particularly Lord Ramchandra's name. This value of the zero is nothing, has no value, but if you put 1 in front of it, it becomes 10. So this 1, you remember at the time? You remember at the time of your marriage, with the husband, the bride, groom, where do they sit? Have you married or not? Where was the bride sitting? Where was your bride? Where was the bride sitting? On the right hand side. On the first, when the marriage ceremony starts. Up to now, this point, the marriage has not taken place, but when the two sit together, the bride and the bridegroom, the bride sits on the right side. And then when they are married, after the exchange of the garlands, then the bride sits on the left. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Before the marriage, the bride sits on the right side. But when the garlands are exchanged, the bride sits on the left. Then she's known as wife. Not until that point. She has no value, like the zero. And when she sits on the left side, then she becomes a heroine. And then there is some value. She, for some reason, she may, at that point, before the garlands are exchanged, she could leave that assembly and decide not to get married. For whatever reason. Sometimes this happens. And a conflict arises, some disagreement, some dispute. some consideration of the dowry. Just at that very last minute, the bride, she's able to walk away. But when she comes onto the right side of her husband, sorry, the left side of her husband, then she cannot. When she becomes a wife, then you become zero. She becomes heroine and you become zero. We understand the zero. Nothing, you cannot do anything without your wife. Not like in this song. The world can move without Lord Ram, but Lord Ram cannot move without Hanuman. However many sacrifices you perform, until the wife sits on the left side of the husband, nothing will be beneficial in your sacrifice. Like Lord Ramchandra, when he manifested the golden Sita to perform this fire sacrifice, he set her on his left side. Otherwise he would not get the benefit of performing the fire sacrifice. Lord Ramchandra is told to Vashishta, Guru Vashishta, I want to perform a fire sacrifice. You cannot, he said, because your wife is not present. How can I solve this? Then one solution is you have to marry again. There are so many girls ready to marry you. They're willing to give up their life to marry you. Your father married 360 wives. And Lord Ramchandra said, no, I made a vow. I would give up my life, but I would not give up Sita. I would not marry anyone else. Then please show another solution. There is no other solution. Then look in Shastra. You are Guru. Gurudev, please look in the scriptures and find one solution. I have to perform this yajna, this fine. And Gurudev is insisting that there is no possibility of any other solution unless you marry again. In the end, Guru Vashishta said, then you have to produce one deity of Sita in gold and have her sit on your left side. Without a wife, this fire sacrifice cannot be successful. She became heroine. She was zero, now she is hero. This is the potency. The wife is the female potency. Without the potency, there's no value to the source of the potency. Like Krishna becomes zero without Srimati Radhika. Now you are happy. Whatever charity you give, you should give in accordance with and with your wife present. When you come to the temple, don't come alone. Bring your wife with you. where energy will come from if you have no wife. Don't come alone. Bring your Shakti, your potency. This is not for brahmacharis. This is not for brahmacharis. There's no need for brahmachari or sannyasi. This is for grihasthas, those who are married. Don't get confused. If you want to give some charity, Patni, wife, it's called Adhangini, which means she is half of you. She is half of your body. Then your two halves should come together as one and perform these activities. From 50-50 to become 100%, become your heart is my heart is your heart. This is the mantras that are chanted during the marriage ceremony. You've forgotten. Then that is done with putting the hands on the chest. I'm making this vow from today. I cannot do anything without you. You are my half. And I would not hide anything from you. These are the words of scripture. Wherever you go together. Whatever you do, charitable, pious activities should be done together. If you do anything alone, if the husband does anything alone, then he will lose half of that to his wife. If the wife gives charity of 100 rupees by herself, then the husband gets nothing of it. You gave a donation of 100 rupees and your husband gave a donation of 100 rupees. The 50 rupees that you gave as a husband has gone to the wife, the benefit of that. So there are exceptions to this rule. There is a saying in this that for 7 lifetimes you will come as my wife. 4 times we circumambulate the fire. First the husband walks and then the wife walks 3 times in front. Altogether 7 circumambulations of the fire, meaning that what if I get a husband like Ravana? Not to take this badly, just giving an example. If you get a husband like Ravana, will I get a husband like Ravana for 7 births? Listen carefully. Or is this my first marriage? Is he my first husband of the 7 lives, or is he my last? You don't know. Well, there is one simple conclusion to this. If after marriage there's constant arguments between husband and wife, then you should understand this is your last life with that person. And then you should understand this is your last life with this person, if you're constantly arguing. But if you meet a husband like Lord Ram, like a pigeon, she pigeon, he pigeon, they are always chasing after each other. This is your first marriage, first time with that person. But what is the truth? This is not the case. And what if you were born as a man in your next life? Or a woman if you're a man? And then what if you're a brahmachari? This body keeps changing. And Bharat Maharaj, he took a human birth, then he took her, and then a deer body. So what condition, what situation is he in terms of his marriage? And Bharat Maharaj, he became attached to a deer, and then took a body of a deer. What wife did he get? What did his wife, what birth did his wife take? Whatever Bharat Maharaj's wife was attached to, she would have taken that body. This shloka in Bhagavad Gita. At the time of death, whatever you think of, then you will take that body. These are the words of Bhagavad Gita. Bharat Maharaj, he thinking of the deer, became a deer. But it could be that his wife remembered the names of the Lord and attained the abode of the Lord. So one pastime I will recite, listen carefully. One day Narada Rishi went to one house. Seeing the sadhu, Narada Rishi, in 5 minutes, that husband and wife in the household, they of course honored the sadhu, the saint. Okay, please take some prasad in our house. The sadhu asked, are you vegetarian or do you eat meat? But we eat everything. We eat those things we're not supposed to eat, onions and garlic and everything. Then the sadhu said, I cannot eat in your house. And then if he leaves the house without taking anything, then it's a great sin. I will offer you these raw ingredients. You please cook for yourself. He took the rice, dal, sabji, cooked and offered and honored. And that the wife was very upset. The husband was quite carefree about this, but the wife was upset. The sadhu had come to our house, he cooked himself, he had to make that endeavor. We were not able to serve him. The wife of the house said to the sadhu, we weren't able to serve you. Then if you want to serve me, do one thing. Take Diksha mantras and stop these bad habits, eating onions, garlic. It's written in Shastra scriptures. You should not even drink water from the hands of one who is not taken Diksha. There are many such injunctions written in Shastras. They go to one hellish called Purush Narak. Then the wife said, okay, I will accept Diksha mantras. I take a vow, I will stop taking onions and garlic. And the sadhu gave Diksha mantras. The husband refused. I have no time, he said. Okay, we will not take onions and garlic. But I am not taking Diksha mantras. Some time passed in this way. The wife had taken Diksha mantras and the husband had not. As time passed, the wife left her body and became a queen in the dynasty. This verse in the Bhagavad Gita, these are the words of scriptures, Shastra, 100% guarantee. They get a birth in a high, wealthy family, in a family following the rules and regulations. There's no doubt in this. If they have not attained their perfection, but still having taken these mantras, and it's guaranteed that you will take a human birth. There is no doubt in this. The wife took birth in the king's dynasty. And the husband in that same dynasty took a birth as an elephant. Because he was, the elephant is vegetarian. And because of the performance of austerity by the wife, the husband got some benefit and took birth in the same dynasty as an elephant. The princess has some ability to see that her husband in a previous life had taken birth in the same dynasty as an elephant. At the time of her marriage of the princess, she was very beautiful. And everybody was gathered. At that time of marriage, the princess, she offered the garland onto the neck of the elephant. And everyone thought, why? How is it possible that the princess would marry this elephant? And you had such opportunity, the princes are here, you did not offer the garland to any of them. This is because this elephant in his previous life was my husband. Narada Rishi gave mantras into the ears of the elephant. At that time, then and there, the elephant gave up its body and took a human form and married the princess, and they returned to the spiritual abode. This is the pastimes of the Puranas. The meaning of this, how powerful the Diksha mantras are. taking these mantras from a bona fide spiritual master and following these rules and regulations, there is 100% guarantee that you will get a human body and perform Hari Bhajan. Bihari Lal Ki Jai. For this reason, it is written in scriptures, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, this shlok from Puranas. Those who not take Diksha mantras, they have to go to the animal kingdom. That's why this example is given. The person took birth as an elephant. Even though he was vegetarian, he did not take Diksha mantras. One human who does not take Diksha mantras, they will get an animal body in their next life. If you want to get a human birth in your next life, take Gopal mantra, Krishna mantra, at least. The Ki Jai. Vishvamitra came to Lord Ramchandra and take my vow back and protect Hanuman. And then he stopped firing his arrow and elaborated on the glories of the holy names of the Lord. In many Puranas, in many Ramayans, there are many explanations. The main Ramayana is Valmiki Ramayana, but there are many Ramayans. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Ki Jai. Ki Jai. What can we pray to Hanuman? Please, O Hanuman, just as you have nishtha towards your Ishtadev, worshipable deity, we would have the same nishtha towards our object of worship, Radha and Krishna. Our Radha and Krishna. Ki Jai. Leave everything, your mother, father, brother, sister. You may renounce them all, but do not renounce Govinda. Our nishtha should be towards Srimati Radhika. This is the benediction we will ask from Hanuman. We should ask from him that nishtha which he has for Lord Ramchandra, that we have the same nishtha for our worshipable deities, Srimati Radhika and Krishna. Our Ishtadev is Srimati Radhika, not Krishna. We honor Krishna because he is the beloved of Srimati Radhika. Radha Rani is the queen. She is the principal. She is the owner. If you take her shelter, Sethani, meaning the queen or the proprietor, the head of the household, she is not miserly. The male, the proprietor, the owner, he may be miserly, but the actual owner, Srimati Radhika, that Krishna, he gives prem in Braj only. But he came as Mahaprabhu. In this Anarpita Charimcharat shloka, Krishna gave prem in Braj to the trees and the creepers. That same Krishna, taking the complexion and mood of Srimati Radhika as Mahaprabhu, came to give prem to the whole world, in Braj, outside Braj. And Srimati Radhika is giving this prem. In Kali Yuga, one devotee came to Vyasadeva and asked the question, is there more devotion in ladies or in men? Tell, in ladies. in this assembly they're sitting, how many ladies there are and how many men. Just count. Say loudly, don't be shy. There's mothers, ladies more. You, wherever there is Harikatha, you'll see. So he's saying that 50% of the ladies are taking the benefit from what the men are doing. Then, but Maharaj Gurudev is saying, don't come alone, come together. So why they should be 50-50, same number of men as there are women in the assembly. Just if you do it together, so you get 50-50, and then there will be benefit. There's no chance of separation. When we do Aarti together, when the husband holds the Aarti tray, the lady, the wife, she touches the lower arm of the husband and does the Aarti together. When we do Aarti, she touches just the body of the husband. Or if the husband does on his own, then you still get benefit. This is the difference between karma kand and bhakti. If you're performing bhajan, this rule applies to karma kand, but in devotion, in devotion, what you do, you will get. What your wife does, she will get. This rule we have been talking about only applies to karma kand. By the mercy of Shri Guru, you will get your blessings. Jai. Shri Gurudev ki Jai. Hare Krishna. We end the class there. Please excuse me for any faults on my part in translating. And if there's anything good out of it, it's Shri Gurudev's blessings. Hare Krishna.